guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to go through this split marble cup tutorial. Make sure if you haven't done so already, you hit subscribe below. And let's get started. So you're going to prep your tumbler and do a base coat. I sanded and I did white spray paint, and then I used electrical tape to tape off the halfway point. I have universal white in that cup, and I'm using the green number 4 to match my glitter as much as I can. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding the green pigment until I get a mint color close enough. You can always add more. So just make sure, I use spray paint, so I let it gas off for 48 hours, and now I'm on to this step where I'm going to base just half my cup with the pigment and universal white. So I like to apply with a TAKLON brush and just do a little bit at a time. You want to do light coats, and you want to do long strokes so you don't get it to pool anywhere. For this particular cup, since I'm going to put glitter over it, I am just doing one coat, but if you were going to use this as your base without glitter, you may need more than one coat to get full coverage. You certainly wouldn't need more than 3, at least not in my experience. So again, just long strokes. You don't want it to pool anywhere, so just use a little bit at a time. It does dry darker than it looks when you put it on, so you can keep that in mind when you're mixing your pigment. Let this dry 2 to 4 hours in between coats or before doing your glitter. And I hang to dry, so I like to just do like one last little wipe down so I know that it's looks good. So after a couple hours, I'm going to add my glitter. I personally like to add glitter with Brite Tone, and I like to apply the Brite Tone with the TAKLON brush. Okay, you want to get a good coat on there. You need to be 100% sure that it's fully covered. And I personally like to do it while I'm holding the cup, and I don't know, this just works so well for me. Getting an even coat, one coat, it just works really well for me. So make sure it's everywhere, and then I like to hold my cup at an angle while I apply my glitter. So I'm using Mint Splash from Sass & Crafts, and while I hold my cup at an angle, I just sprinkle on the glitter and let it fall down the cup. It just helps it lay flatter, and it just works well for me. Every time I do this, I only have to do one coat of glitter. If I do it on my turner, I just can't seem to get that right. So this just works best for me, and you'll figure out what works best for you. So you gotta get the bottom too, and then when you're done, I shake it off and I tap the cup to get anything extra left off, and this is the best glitter I've ever seen. And you're going to hang it and dry it for 4 hours. You want to seal and flatten your glitter as well, whether you use E6000 or clear spray paint, it doesn't really matter. For this cup, I use clear spray paint. So once this was fully dry, I sealed it with clear spray paint, and after about 30 minutes I rolled it in parchment paper, and then I sealed it a couple more times after that. So I took the tape off once that was dry after 48 hours, since I used clear spray paint, and I replaced it because I didn't want anything, like I didn't want to build up too much over my electrical tape. So what I decided to do was replace my tape. Again, I used clear spray paint, so I needed to wait 48 hours, and I'm just going to put 2 coats of Brite Tone over the top of just the glitter part. That's why I redid the tape. I just wanted to do 2 coats on just the glitter. Again, you only need to let it spin for an hour and then let it dry 4 hours in between your coats. If you seal with E6000, you really only need to wait like 1 to 2 hours. But I chose clear spray paint because I was already out there and I didn't want to mess up the glitter. So I took the tape off, and then I am going to do 2 more coats of Brite Tone over the entire cup. Again, I'm doing this because I'm going to add a water slide for the marble part. 4 hours apart, I'm going to do 2 layers before I add my water slide. So I cut down, I printed the water slide. I had this image already I had purchased from Etsy, the marble pattern. And I'm going to cut it down so it is similar to the size that I need, just a little bit bigger. I'm going to soak for 30 to 60 seconds. You know, you just need to look at the directions on your brand. And I'm going to slide it onto a wet cup. So I have another video, please check it out, about applying water slides. It's a little more detail, so I just use my finger to smooth it out. But yeah, check out that other video for more details on the water slides. And I use a paper towel to wipe any of the excess water. And then I'm going to trim down the water slide. I purposely made it just a little bit bigger than I needed. And I'm going to go down with an EXACTO knife to trim it. You want your knife to be super sharp, and you're going to trim both sides and trim the top and the bottom. Okay, you can keep using your paper towel to get out any water if it's still wet. Okay, then I did the top and the bottom as well. From here, again, just layer your Brite Tone until it's smooth. I usually wait a couple hours after I apply a water slide to move on to Brite Tone. And sometimes I like to wait overnight just to be sure it's super dry before you add your Brite Tone. And you're going to layer it until it is smooth. So once it was smooth, I sanded at the seams because I needed that to be extra smooth because I'm going to put vinyl there. So after 4 or 5 layers, I gave it a good sanding over the glitter especially and at the seams. And I use my finger to go over it to make sure it feels smooth. So once you sand it, you're just going to rinse it with water, let it fully dry, and then keep adding your layers until you're satisfied. This is 400 grit sandpaper, and I washed it, and I'm just going to keep layering it now until it is fully smooth. You know, there's no exact number for how long that's going to take. But I think I did 1 or 2 more layers after this, so it could be fully smooth. So then I am going to put vinyl down the side. So all I did was cut rectangles. I just measured the size of the cup and how wide I wanted it to be, and I cut it with my silhouette. This is some reflective vinyl from Amazon that I'll link below. And I did put it over the edge on the bottom because I did both of these rectangle strips. And then I put a circle on the bottom to cover up those seams. You can do it, you know, whatever you want. So I added the circle, and then I just did layers and layers of Brite Tone until I was ready. So that's it. Make sure you subscribe below. I hope this helps. Comment below if you have any questions. And go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram, Allison Crafts. And yeah. Let me know if you have any questions.